I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and this is Mission Unstoppable. Coming up, I'm the type who always stops to smell the roses, even the robotic ones. See how one teacher and her student bring this robo garden to life.
What does this spider do?
We make it move by code.
Then, these sandy beaches are harboring a secret. I spilled the STEM tea on what these shores are made of. This is prop sand, right? And how did the quick pickle win its race? My guess is a lot of training, but Chef Claire says it's actually science.
You can see the real difference in color, and that's just chemistry happening.
Then, recycling trash on Earth can be easy, but how do you do it in space? Meet the chemical engineer who's turning astronauts' garbage into gas.
You have the coolest job.
Space garbage lady, I guess, yeah.
Get ready to meet the scientists, inventors, and heroes who help make our world a better place. The future is here. The mission, unstoppable. Think of your favorite teacher. Wouldn't that teacher be a little cooler if they taught you how to build a robot? We sent Marina to meet a teacher like that, and her name is Tanya Coates.
When you pack for school, you need your backpack, pencils, and paper. But in this classroom, there's one more thing you can't forget: your microbit. To find out how a tiny piece of tech can help train the next generation of computer scientists, today I'm talking to Tanya Coates. She's an elementary school teacher in Jurupa Valley, California.
Growing up, I never had access to a computer. I didn't really get the chance to use a computer until college. I decided I wanted to become a teacher because I wanted to provide students with things that I necessarily didn't have when I was in school: access, exposure to different technologies, and I try to create a space where they feel like they want to be in.
Tanya teaches second grade and runs an after-school computer club. Today, she's going to tell me how she helps children explore computer programming. How do you teach kids this young about computers?
It is never too young to learn about computer science. You need that time to foster that learning and build upon your skills. Also, when you're learning at that young age, it's amazing what you can do with art.
How do you help the kids learn computer science through art?
They use their own creativity to design and develop something that they find interesting.
So basically, you leave it up to the kids and kind of let them decide.
Yes, they are going to be the future designers of technology. Giving them that avenue to be creative through art is going to keep their interest for years to come.
Where are you hoping that they take it?
There is artificial intelligence, mechanical engineering, software development. The avenues are endless.
Can I see one of the projects they're working on?
I have a student named Andrea, and she's going to show you the amazing things we're doing with computer science.
Tanya helps guide her students as they discover fundamental computer concepts. She looks for inspiration from the Pathfinders Online Institute from our sponsor, Infosys Foundation USA.
Each lesson builds on a skill that they've learned from the previous lessons, and they can build on it and apply it to whatever project that they want to work on. Pathfinders not only helps students, but it actually helps teachers connect with other teachers and share ideas that they're doing in their own classroom.
One place where Tanya's students use programming to express their creativity is this mechanical garden. It was made by fourth graders like my new bestie, Andrea.
Nice to meet you.
This project has moving creatures, crafts, and lights, all designed and programmed by students. Why do you like to code?
Because you can express yourself with all the things that you make out of code.
How did you learn to code?
From Miss Coates. She taught me to code a lot. I really like code, and she technically inspired me to do all of it.
Oh, do you hear that?
I love it. I love it.
So what does this spider do and how does it move?
We make it move by code. The position of servo can move up and down, and the rotation of servo is when it goes 360 all the way around. The position of servo, we want it to go 90 degrees. We're gonna download all the code down to the microbit so it can program.
Students download their code into the pocket-sized computer and connect it to a controller called a hummingbird. It can do things like adjust servos or change the color of LEDs.
So there's red, green, and blue. What color would you?
Okay, so I want two colors. I want 50% red and 50% blue. After Andrea quickly changes a few lines of code, she downloads it, we place it in the controller, and voila, the custom lights I asked for. 50% red, 50% blue. Good job, girl. Were you able to do it fast because you just have it memorized?
I've been practicing a lot, and practice makes perfect.
So if something doesn't work the first time, what do?
I just try a new way.
Have you ever tried one way and it still didn't work, and then you had to try a couple different ways?
Yes, I just kept trying and never did.
And you never gave up? And then do you get an A because of that?
It's not part of my grade.
You're amazing, and I can't wait to see what else you do in the future.
Well, thank you for allowing us to share how we learn without limits and sharing our garden with you.
Okay, high five. Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hi, all. I just came across something so interesting. I have to spill the STEM tea. Did you know that white sand you love digging your toes into is mostly made of parrotfish droppings? Wait, what? Parrotfish are omnivores with crazy-looking teeth. No, really. Can we get a picture up right here? But those aren't ordinary teeth. The crystalline structure of their teeth is so sturdy, it would beat gold, copper, and silver in a fracture test. So I guess they basically have a built-in grill. Nice. If you were a dentist, you'd love these little guys. They have about 1,000 teeth arranged in 15 rows, with new teeth constantly replacing old ones. These guys would absolutely bankrupt the tooth fairy. And those teeth are fused to their jawbone to form their super strong fish beaks, which allow them to rip off chunks of coral from reefs. Then they pulverize the coral by grinding their other set of teeth, which are in their throat, in order to get the algae-filled polyps inside. The coral then gets broken down, disposed of, and turned into that beautiful South Pacific white sand. This is prop sand, right? But all the coral eating isn't just to give us this beautiful sand. It's actually super helpful when it comes to controlling algae populations. See, when the parrotfish eats the algae-filled coral, they create gaps in the reef that allow for baby coral to attach to and grow. And that's called bioerosion, which is the breakdown of hard ocean substrates like coral by living organisms. In this case, the parrotfish. Now the answer to the question I know you're all wondering. How much of this sand do we get from these parrotfish? Well, scientists estimate that a single parrotfish can churn out several hundred pounds of sand each year, and they typically live to be 5 to 7 years. That's a lot of sand. So the next time you're on a Caribbean vacation, having the time of your life on that white sandy beach, don't forget to thank the parrotfish, because without them, we would just have boring, regular beach sand. How does a cucumber become a pickle? With some science. And maybe vinegar? I didn't read the ingredients. That's why we brought in Chef Claire Hollingsworth.
Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make my favorite snack, a pickle. Pickling itself is the process of preserving food in an acidic base. I'm using cucumbers today, but you can use anything like hard-boiled eggs, peppers, green beans, beets. You can pickle pretty much anything, except ice cream. I don't really think you can pickle ice cream.
In her kitchen, the only thing hotter than the burner is the science. This is Chef Claire.
We're going to be talking about two different types of pickling, traditional pickling and quickling. Traditional pickling involves a process called lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation turns sweet into sour by transforming the sugars within a vegetable. Lactic acid has been used to preserve dairy products, such as cheese and yogurt. But it can also be used to preserve meat. Pickled pork, anyone? Bacteria grows best in neutral pH areas, around 6 or 7. When we put vegetables in this brine, it lowers their pH level, making it much more acidic. Lactobacillus metabolizes the sugar inside the fruit or vegetable before other harmful bacteria can grow on it. Quickling, however, is a lot more simple. With quickling, you're basically just brining whatever vegetable, in my case cucumbers, in vinegar, sugar, and whatever flavoring you want. I find that normally one regular-sized cucumber fits in about a jar. Let's go ahead and add my seasonings to the bottom of each of these. I'm gonna put some fresh dill, and you don't have to worry about taking the stems off. Salt plays a pretty important role in the whole pickling process, but you have to make sure you don't add too much, or else all of a sudden you're gonna have a mouthful of salt. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up a clove of garlic and put some in each. Pickling can take up to a week to let those vegetables soak. With a quickle, you just toss it in some brine and let it soak overnight. But that means a quickling recipe should never be used in pickling. Anything that can quickle something overnight should not be trusted to soak for a week. You're gonna get some nasty bacteria up in there. You don't have to make your garlic cuts perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and add a spoonful of sugar to each one. You need to make sure that you don't add too much sugar because then the sugar inside of the vegetables won't get converted. And that's what needs to happen for the quickle to taste like a quickle. Let's go ahead and add our vegetables. I want to leave room for my water and vinegar. I've got my white vinegar. A normal quickling recipe calls for about half a part water and half a part vinegar. I always shake up my jar of quickles before I put them in the fridge to not only spread the seasonings throughout, but also to make sure that the sugar is evenly spread out throughout all of the cucumbers. If it's not spread evenly throughout, you may have some cucumbers that turn into quickles and some that are just sad little wet cucumbers in a jar. Leave these in the fridge overnight, and then you have a delicious breakfast of pickles for the next day. You can quickle almost anything. For example, hard-boiled eggs. My mom does this all the time, so shout out to you, Mom, for inspiring this idea. Careful not to shake the eggs as hard as you shook the cucumbers, because otherwise they're gonna break in half and you're gonna have some nastiness to deal with. Quickles and quickled eggs taste best within about 3 days, but make sure you don't eat them after a week. I don't have time to wait overnight, so with the power of TV magic, the quickles I made at 11:27 last night. You can see the real difference in color and how the brine turns a lot milkier. And that's just chemistry happening. Look at this. Does this, ooh. It's flying liquid, can you see that? Does this look like a regular cucumber to you? Let's give it a taste. It's very sour because I like my pickles sour, so I think it's perfect. And there you have it, the power of chemistry or the magic of quickling. I'm Chef Claire, and I'll see you next time.
How do you turn trash in space into treasure in space? With science in space, duh. We sit big to learn how from NASA's Annie Meyer.
At the Kennedy Space Center, they do a lot of space stuff, and some of it's trash. Oh, not like it's bad trash. It really is just about trash in space.
To find out why space recycling is so important, today I'm meeting Annie Meyer, a chemical engineer here at NASA.
I didn't have a dishwasher growing up, so I always had to do the dishes. So when I was in high school, I had this chemistry teacher, and that teacher explained to me how soap works, and I was like, whoa, I mean, this is chemistry everywhere. And from that moment forward, I just looked at the whole world differently.
Today, Dr. Meyer is going to tell us how NASA's working to turn garbage into useful gases with the help of some space-age engineering.
What is a chemical engineer?
The way I think of it is we're like fancy cooks. We're taking raw materials, doing something with it, this chemical reaction, and then we get a product out of it.
What projects are you working on right now?
Well, here in the lab, we work a lot with OSCAR, which is Orbital Syngas Commodity Augmentation Reactor.
Woo, glad there's an acronym for that.
OSCAR is a trash processing system where we're looking at how does trash get processed in microgravity.
So astronauts can't just throw their trash out into space.
Right now on the International Space Station, they're throwing out some trash and they're putting them into these bags. They actually stuff it inside this vehicle, and that vehicle gets sent into Earth's atmosphere and burns up. And so as we go beyond low Earth orbit and beyond the International Space Station, we want to recover as much as we can.
So what kind of stuff are you turning trash into?
We're hoping to recover gas so that we can use it as fuel, any of the solids, and we also try to recover as much water from the trash. We're basically looking at different reactors or ways that we can heat up or chemically convert those solids, and we're testing things like temperature and pressure, and we want to make sure the gases that we're producing are not harmful and that they can be used for what we want them to be used for.
Oscar is still in development, but he's coming to life on this rack. At the top, what's called the confetti cannons shoot shredded trash into the reactor to mix with oxygen and combust at up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Then hot gases move through a condenser to cool down and into tanks at the bottom.
What kind of gas are you looking for?
We primarily try to make carbon dioxide, which we would then convert into a gas called methane. That is a fuel that's used in a rocket engine. Well, all of our trash going into it has carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in the solid form, and we're just manipulating it to be the carbon, oxygen, hydrogen form in the gas phase.
What kind of trash goes into Oscar?
Things like their food packaging, their shirts. Everything right now is single packaged, and there's so much plastic left over. So Oscar can convert on long duration ground tests over 90% of the trash into the gases.
Oscar has already been to space twice on suborbital missions, and NASA tests the gases it produces during its trials with a gas chromatograph.
I feel like a real NASA scientist.
This lets the team know if the gases in their sample are what they expected or if they need to adjust their recipe.
So this is a good spectrum. I'm happy with it. I would save this and I would go, calculate some more runs, and I like this scan.
So it sounds like the work that you're doing is really impactful.
I hope that some of the technology we make through Oscar and the trash processing work can translate back to Earth so that we're not just surrounded by heaps of our trash. There's so many resources that get thrown away, but if we can basically put it through a chemical engineering process, we can get resources back out of it. You have to be sustainable. There's not enough resources on this planet to just use it all up.
So this project is going out to space, but maybe the tech can come back to Earth.
I hope so. And actually, that was one thing I loved about NASA. I had no idea how much technology that was developed came back to Earth and was commercialized and helps people. I love outer space, but I also love our planet. And so seeing the technologies that are helping people and the innovations is what made me so happy to say I'm a NASA employee.
Amazing. You have the coolest job.
Space garbage lady, I guess, yeah.
And now it's time for, let me animate myself. Science Minute with Miranda Cosgrove. That's me. Did you know if your feet disappeared, you'd lose 25% of your bones? That's kind of weird. Why do we have so many bones down there when we mostly just use our feet to walk around? One reason is that those bones have always been there. Our ancient ancestors likely used their feet like a second set of hands. And hands have lots of bones because having more bones makes it easier to, handle things. But even in our feet, all those bones are still super useful. It's really hard to balance on just two limbs. And all our foot bones and their associated muscles and tendons allow us to shift our weight easily. Not only does that mean that our feet help us balance as we walk around, but their springiness and flexibility also let us do things like run long distances, jump up in the air, and, whatever she's doing. Now that's quite a feat. Welcome back. Before we go, we have one last thing.
Some advice I would give to anyone that wants to get into the STEM field is you belong here and keep going. Your inner critic is going to be the worst. It's always going to tell you don't belong here, and it's just going to make you feel even worse. So do your best to push through that, and then once you feel like you're in a good place, remember to look behind you and help those behind you get to where you are as well.
It's very intimidating being in a space where there's all males and your voice may not feel like it's being heard. So my advice would definitely be to stick it out. I think the more women we have, the better our technologies are going to develop because we have different ways of just looking at things.
That's it for Mission Unstoppable. Maybe next week we'll find out why NASA has never sent sea otters into orbit. I mean, we could call it Otter Space. It would be so cute. Bye. If you're watching this, you must have really liked the video. Make sure you follow and subscribe, and check out these other videos that are even better. No, really. I've seen this one over 100 times.